Hello, thank you for tuning into another episode of Take 10 on Tuesday with the Tennessee Tribune. I'm Jason Luntz. This week I wanted to take another route. We've been focusing a lot on festivals and business lately, but I wanted to turn to some community activism. Today I'm sitting with Pastor Rodney Beard, who has some exciting news for the community. How you doing today, sir?
Good. How are you?
All right, I'm great. I appreciate you coming here today.
Thank you.
So, I know that in Nashville you have a history of working for the community, and you're out there helping brothers and sisters on a regular basis.
Yes.
And with all these things that are going on nationally with black men, I was told that there were some new movements that you were being a part of. And
Absolutely.
And I would love if you could share with our audience and with me today.
Well, we're starting here locally, the National Action Network. It's a nationwide voice, currently led by Reverend Al Sharpton. And the reason I chose that was I went to find out how I could become activated in Nashville activism, if you will, race. And I found out that we didn't have a chapter here. And so the lady I spoke with actually suggested I start one, so I did.
So when did the National Action Network begin?
Somewhere around 1991. Actually, what they did was picked up where the movement left off.
Okay, so we're talking the early 90s.
Yes.
And the movement had kind of went down a little bit and then it picked up.
Yes.
Again. Okay.
But he's really ramped it all up since the situation in Louisiana where those boys were mistreated.
Oh yes, genocide.
Yeah. And what it is for me is that National Action Network is always on the scene before anybody. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think we ought to leave them out there by themselves.
Exactly. Now, were you surprised to find that there wasn't already one here in Nashville?
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, at this point in my life, I'm not trying to do those types of things, but I still feel that there's an obligation by people in my age group who has sort of let down your age group by not teaching you activism and community awareness, politics, and things of that nature. And so it was for that reason that I felt like I couldn't sit on the sideline anymore. Gotcha. And my message to anybody that's listening is don't sit on the sideline, get involved.
Oh yeah, that's definitely important. Why do you think there was some kind of disconnect between young and older people when it came to civil rights and things of that nature?
Well, as I stated in my column today, that will come out on Thursday.
Well, that's right. As some of our viewers may or may not know, Pastor Beard actually writes a column here every week now, and it focuses on activism, politics, and a lot of great things that are about the community.
Absolutely. But one of the things that I said, and I have to know that I've been guilty of this myself, is the fact that, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and everybody was activated relative to the movement. And once the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, once those things were done, integration took place, we kind of left our own communities to go into theirs. I talk about how when we could go to white schools, we left the black ones. And the best and the brightest went to the white schools. When I could get a job at the railroad or the phone company or Western Electric or steel mill, we stopped doing the crafts like laying cement, laying bricks, roofing, painting, plumbing, and all of those things. And another ethnic group, as you know, has moved in to take over all of those entrepreneurial opportunities that we forfeited.
Yes. Wow. So actually integration in a sense left some people behind, and then that's where a disconnect started.
Well, integration, I don't think left anybody behind, but I think that a lot of us were far too zealous in our need to relate to white society and be like white society. I think, we should have stayed in our neighborhoods. You see all around here, right up and down Jefferson. I mean, they're coming in buying up the land that we should have valued. They're going to be living in the houses that your grandmother paid for.
Yeah,
and it's called gentrification.
Yes, we see it. We see it a lot over here. Yeah, I see it all through town. Neighborhoods in East Nashville.
Yeah.
I've even seen parts like off of 12 South where people would say, you don't realize these were all black at one time too.
You're exactly correct.
And I was like,
But you know what we did? I mean, once we got our education in our white schools, I didn't go to one, by the way, and I was educated in a historically black college. But once we left our neighborhoods, we went to the suburbs and built their suburbs for them.
Yeah.
And now they're moving from the suburbs where we wanted to be with them and moving back into our houses at bargain basement prices.
Well, and that actually can lead me, because you said what's going on nationally, and obviously what happened in Ferguson, I'm sure that helped pull you to action.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a great example because that town once was an affluent suburb.
It was.
And now all the black, it's 67% black, and all the whites have gone back into St. Louis, but it's still ran by white police officers.
Right.
Who seem to resent.
Well, 60, you know what? I'm sympathetic with Ferguson, but Ferguson's problem is Ferguson's fault. And I'll say that because, how do you have that much of a voting bloc and have no power? And that's one of the things that I try to point out with us as a people is they don't respect us because we don't respect us.
Mm. Yeah, well, I know I did read that only 12% of the African Americans of Ferguson voted in the last election.
And see, so what are they griping about? What do you expect? I mean, if you don't have a voice, and that's what I'm saying to Nashville today, if you don't have a voice, if you don't vote, you cannot expect but to be mistreated.
That does make sense. Well, what are your initial goals with the having a NAN chapter here once it gets off the ground?
My initial goal is to pull Nashville together. Nashville is up and coming. I don't have to tell you. I mean, there's lots of great things going here, but what I want to do is to make sure that Nashville has a national voice that says you can't do that to our children. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's murder in the streets. I mean, the guy in New Jersey, they murdered him while a crowd of onlookers watched in horror. The same thing happened with Ezell Ford. The same thing happened with Michael Brown. And so in my humble opinion, I don't think it's going to be long till that type of activity comes to Nashville. And I say we ought to nip that in the bud. The African American, the brown, and the white community needs to stand up for social justice and do it now before we have to deal with those types of things.
So NAN can help us be proactive with these problems.
Absolutely.
Before they happen, and then we have to go out and march and protest.
Yes.
Let's start working together now.
We won't be marching and protesting because of our proactivity. This city will know they can't go there with us.
That's it. I like that. That's great. Now, people that are interested in learning more, how can they get in contact with you?
My email address is pastorbeard@comcast.net. pastorbeard@comcast.net. And I am the pastor, the senior pastor and founder of the Living Word Community Church. We're located at 2304 Hobson Pike, Antioch, Tennessee.
Yeah, Hobson Pike, Antioch, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so and as you grow the network and you build maybe some social media and websites, you'll be sending that information out to people that contact.
Yes, I will, and I'll continue to mention it in my weekly column in the Tennessee Tribune. You need to go get a paper, or you can look for it online, Tennessee Tribune.
Oh yeah, tntribune.com.
TN Tribune.
Yeah. His column will be up every week.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm definitely excited about what you have planned on doing with NAN, and I'm glad that we have someone of your stature stepping forward. And then hopefully the goal is to get some younger people involved.
Absolutely.
They can do the legwork.
Absolutely. That's why Nadira is here. I've talked with Jay Clifton. I really want the young people to get involved, and I just want people in my age group to be able to sow into them what we didn't.
Great. It makes sense. That's perfect. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming today. We're going to get the word out.
All right, man.
All right. And once again, you've been tuning into Take 10 on Tuesday. See you next time.